We were never friends. We were in the same crowd, that conservative evangelical
Okay.
crowd. And he once gave a lecture at Dallas Seminary. I got to guard my tongue here. So I don't want to do what John does, what MacArthur does.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So when Charismatic Chaos came out, I read it. He accused me of not knowing what the gospel was, and I went to his office. And a seminary student in Sydney, Australia, said he had a conversation with me, and I said that I didn't know what the gospel was. The guy, that was not true. And in fact, at that conference, I defined the gospel in my workshop. It was on tape. But these guys printed that in a bulletin, which was really juicy. You know, former Dallas Seminary professor has become a charismatic, doesn't even know what the gospel is now. Just what we said would happen. Well, so MacArthur prints that. So I go to his office and I said, John, I thought you might want to talk to the former seminary professor that doesn't know what the gospel is. Would you like to ask me a question or two about the gospel? And he put his head down. He goes, I knew I shouldn't have done that without talking to you. And so I think this is fantastic. That's a response of humility and all that. And, you know, so I state what the gospel is. Jesus Christ died on the cross for your sins in your place. If you trust him to forgive you and give you new life, he will come into your heart and never leave. And MacArthur was just really apologetic. And I said, John Wimber looks up to you. He esteems you as a significant teacher of the Bible. He goes, yeah, but John lets people, more than one person speak in tongues. He lets people all over the audience speak in tongues. And he had sent some of his guys in with recorders in their briefcase. We knew where they were from because they all came in with suits. Wearing suits to a vineyard church. I mean, you know, there are a couple thousand people there, but they stood out like sore thumbs. And so I leaned over and said, hey, there's some John MacArthur's guys. And they all had briefcases, so we knew he had recorders in the deal. And so John hits me with that. He goes, Wimber lets people, more than one or two people, speak in tongues. And I go, yeah, no, I said no services. And he goes, you just let that go on? And I said, John, I'm called to serve Wimber. I'm not his boss. He's my boss. I don't get to tell him what to do. And he's got four of his guys sitting in the room, and he looks at those guys and goes, oh, yeah, that's right. Because he didn't expect those guys to tell him what to do.
Yeah.
So I said, but that's a correction you could give him. I agree with you on this one, but you could give him that correction. If you called him and asked him for lunch, he would meet you in a heartbeat because of his esteem for you, and you could help bring some correction to some of the things that you see you're wrong. Now, some of the things we would just disagree on, but we want to be friends. We don't want to be enemies. We don't. And he goes, okay, and acted like he was going to call John. The next week, he mocks me and John from the pulpit. That's my experience with John MacArthur.